Welcome, jewels of inestimable value. Do not mistake silence for weakness. It's often the calm before the storm. In a world where loudness is often mistaken for strength, there exists a rare breed of women who operate differently, calm, calculating, and virtually untouchable. These are the Sigma females, a force of nature who cannot be bullied, controlled, or easily broken. While others might crumble under the weight of societal pressures, she remains unmoved, quietly observing the chaos around her while plotting her next move. Here's a fact: bullies thrive on reactions, but what happens when their target simply doesn't play the game? This is where the Sigma female shines. She doesn't engage in petty battles or seek validation from the masses. Instead, she dismantles those who try to undermine her piece by piece without even breaking a sweat. If you've ever thought about targeting her, think again. You're stepping into a fight you're woefully unprepared for. Number 1, her silence is more deadly than your words. Her silence is more deadly than your words. While most people feel the need to shout back when insulted or bullied, the Sigma female does the exact opposite. She doesn't waste energy on petty back and forths, and that's what makes her so dangerous. Her quietness isn't about avoiding confrontation. It's about calculating the most effective way to handle it. Every insult you throw at her, every jab or snide comment, is met with nothing but stillness. And that's when the discomfort begins to set in. You see, bullies feed off reactions. They thrive when they can see their words land, when they provoke a visible response. But with a Sigma female, that satisfaction never comes. Her silence feels like a void you can't fill. It makes you question whether you're even hitting the mark. The more you talk, the smaller you start to feel because you begin to realize that she's not affected at all. The more noise you make, the more ridiculous you look. And while you're scrambling for ways to get under her skin, she's already dissected your insecurities in her mind. Without uttering a word, she's watching you flail, learning your weaknesses and letting your arrogance work against you. It's like trying to argue with a brick wall, except that wall is quietly judging you and planning a far more strategic response than you're capable of. In the end, you're left wondering how a person can be so unmoved, so completely unfazed by everything you throw at them. Her silence isn't passive. It's a weapon, and it's far more effective than any comeback you could think of. You don't even realize how hard you've lost until long after the conversation is over. Number 2. She observes, then dismantles you systematically. She observes, then dismantles you systematically. The Sigma female doesn't rush to react, nor does she get swept up in the heat of the moment. Instead, she watches closely, studies the situation, and dissects every move you make. She isn't impulsive, and that's what gives her the upper hand. While most people are quick to retaliate, she takes her time. She analyzes your behavior, picking up on the subtle cues others miss. Every insult, every attempt to undermine her only gives her more information to work with. What makes her so effective is her patience. She doesn't need to lash out immediately to prove a point. She's comfortable waiting because she knows that her strength lies in her ability to strike when it matters most. By observing carefully, she learns not just what you say, but why you say it. She reads between the lines, understanding your fears, your insecurities, and the cracks in your armor. Once she has gathered enough, she doesn't need to come at you with force. Instead, she dismantles you piece by piece, slowly and efficiently. What makes it even more unsettling is that her approach is calm and calculated. While you're busy trying to provoke her, she's already planning her next steps. Her actions are deliberate and measured, designed to have maximum impact with minimal effort. She's not out to humiliate you publicly or make a scene. No, she works quietly, making moves that seem insignificant at first, but ultimately leave you unraveling. By the time you realize what's happening, it's too late. She's already exposed your weaknesses, leaving you vulnerable and unsure of how it all happened so smoothly. This ability to observe and dismantle without fanfare makes her a formidable opponent. You won't see her coming, but you'll feel the consequences long after. Number 3. She masters the art of outlasting. She masters the art of outlasting. While most people get exhausted by constant confrontation, The Sigma female has built her endurance like a marathon runner. She doesn't need to rush or prove anything immediately, and that's what makes her so difficult to deal with. When you try to push her, she won't react with the urgency or panic you're hoping for. Instead, she'll simply outlast you. Bullies rely on getting a rise out of their targets, but with the Sigma female, that never happens. She doesn't burn out quickly or get caught up in petty battles. Her strength lies in her ability to wait it out. She knows that time is on her side, and your aggression will eventually fizzle out. You'll tire yourself out long before she even thinks about engaging. It's like playing a game of tug-of-war with someone who's not even pulling back. They're just holding on, knowing you'll let go first. She's not interested in short-term victories. What she's after is much more powerful: resilience. While you're busy throwing everything you have at her, she's conserving her energy. Her calmness is her greatest weapon because it shows she's unbothered. There's a quiet confidence in her that says she's seen worse and will survive anything you throw her way. And the longer you try to wear her down, the more obvious it becomes that you're the one losing steam, the humor in it all. While you're desperately trying to break her, she's sitting back, thinking about bigger things, things that actually matter. She knows this little battle is beneath her, and she's patient enough to let it play out. By the time you're exhausted from all your efforts, she's barely lifted a finger. Outlasting you wasn't hard, it was inevitable. Number 4. She is always 3 steps ahead. She is always 3 steps ahead. The Sigma female doesn't just react to what's happening in front of her, she anticipates it. While most people are stuck in the present, responding to the immediate situation, she's already mapped out future outcomes in her mind. She thinks strategically, constantly analyzing every detail, every possibility. This forward-thinking nature gives her an advantage that's nearly impossible to counter. By the time you're formulating your next move, she's already prepared for it. Her ability to think ahead makes her impossible to corner. You might think you've caught her off guard, but the truth is she saw it coming long before you did. Every decision she makes is calculated, and she knows exactly how to navigate challenges. This isn't luck, it's foresight. She doesn't let her emotions cloud her judgment or pull her into impulsive reactions. Instead, she maintains a sense of control and clarity that allows her to stay one step, or rather several steps, ahead of anyone who tries to challenge her. It's not just about being smarter or quicker. It's about playing a different game entirely. The Sigma female understands that in any confrontation, patience and preparation outweigh brute force or loud responses. While you're focused on the present, she's already thinking about the long-term effects of every action. This is why she rarely gets blindsided, and it's why you'll never see her stumble in moments of pressure. She's thought it all through, long before you've even started to react. Her ability to stay ahead isn't a talent that can be learned overnight. It's something honed through experience, wisdom, and an unwavering focus. She's always calculating, always observing, always planning. By the time you try to catch up, she's already moved on, leaving you in the dust. Number 5. She's mentally unbreakable, you can't crack her. She's mentally unbreakable, you can't crack her. The Sigma female's strength comes from a place that most people never reach, a deep, unshakable mental toughness. While others are easily rattled by insults, pressure, or conflict, she remains completely composed. She's been through enough in life to know that emotional outbursts or displays of weakness won't help her in the long run. So, she's built a fortress around her mind, one that no one can penetrate. When you try to break her down with insults, she doesn't flinch. Her sense of self is so solid that your words simply bounce off. There's no insecurity for you to latch onto, no fear for you to exploit. She doesn't let the opinions of others define her or make her doubt herself. Her mental strength allows her to stay rooted, even when everything around her is chaotic. This resilience isn't just something she displays outwardly, it's woven into her very being. While most people have moments where they falter or lose their composure, the Sigma female doesn't. She's trained herself to weather any emotional storm without giving into it. When she's attacked or put under pressure, she doesn't react in the way her opponent hopes. Instead, she holds her ground, thinking clearly and strategizing her next move. This mental toughness makes her nearly impossible to defeat. How do you fight someone who refuses to give you the reaction you're seeking? Her mind is her greatest weapon, and it's one that can't be cracked. She understands that strength isn't about outward displays of power, but about maintaining control over her thoughts and emotions. You can try every tactic in the book to break her, but it won't work. She's built differently. Her strength is internal, and it's unshakable. Number 6. Your group tactics won't intimidate her. Your group tactics won't intimidate her. The Sigma female is built to stand alone, and she thrives in her independence. She doesn't need a crowd to back her up, and she certainly doesn't crumble under the weight of group pressure. While most people feel the need to blend in or seek safety in numbers, she's wired differently. She's immune to the power dynamics that groups try to create, and she doesn't bend to collective thinking or peer pressure. When a group tries to gang up on her, thinking that numbers will overpower her, it has the opposite effect. She becomes even more resolute. A group attack might work on someone who fears isolation or seeks approval from others, but the Sigma female doesn't live by those rules. She's comfortable in her own skin and doesn't seek validation from the crowd. Whether she's facing one person or 10, her approach remains the same, steady, calm, and unbothered. Groups often rely on intimidation to create a sense of superiority, but this tactic falls flat against someone who doesn't need anyone's approval. She sees right through the mob mentality. The noise and pressure from a group don't faze her, because she's learned that true power doesn't come from numbers, it comes from within. While others may need the support of a crowd to feel strong, she's built her strength from years of standing on her own. This is what makes her so formidable. No amount of collective force can shake her confidence or make her feel small. She knows who she is, and that knowledge gives her the strength to face any opposition, no matter how big or loud. The group may feel powerful in numbers, but their tactics are useless against someone who doesn't play by the same rules. She's untouchable because she refuses to be intimidated by the masses. Number 7. She will rise stronger, and you will stay the same. She will rise stronger, and you will stay the same. The Sigma female is not someone who is easily brought down by challenges or adversity. In fact, every attempt to knock her down only makes her more resilient. She doesn't just survive difficulties, she thrives in them. Each setback, each confrontation only sharpens her focus and strengthens her resolve. While most people might be broken or defeated by constant opposition, she uses it as fuel for growth. What sets her apart is her ability to transform under pressure. She takes whatever life throws at her, criticism, betrayal, conflict, and turns it into a lesson, a tool for self-improvement. She understands that every experience, no matter how difficult, has something to teach her, and she's always looking for ways to evolve. So, when you try to bring her down, you're not dealing with someone who will crumble. You're dealing with someone who will rise from the ashes stronger than before. In contrast, her adversaries stay stuck in the same patterns. Those who try to belittle or undermine her are often operating from a place of insecurity and fear, stuck in a loop of trying to tear others down rather than building themselves up. They don't grow, they simply repeat the same behavior, hoping for different results. But while they stay trapped in their cycles, the Sigma female moves forward, always advancing, always improving. This is why trying to bring her down is a losing game. Even if you manage to throw obstacles in her way, she will come out of the other side stronger, wiser, and more unshakable than before. Meanwhile, you remain exactly where you started, no better off, unchanged, and stuck. You can try to stop her, but all you're doing is helping her become even more powerful. Number 8. Your opinions are meaningless in her world. Your opinions are meaningless in her world. The Sigma female has created her own path, one that is independent of society's expectations and the opinions of others. She doesn't live by the same rules that most people do, where validation comes from external approval. For her, self-worth isn't measured by what others think or say. She operates in a world where the only opinions that matter are her own. So when someone tries to insult or belittle her, it doesn't affect her in the way they hope it will. While many people spend their lives trying to fit in, worrying about what others think of them, she's long ago detached from that need. She doesn't crave acceptance, and she certainly doesn't bend to criticism. Whether it's praise or judgment, neither sways her. She's already secure in who she is, what she stands for, and where she's headed. This level of self-assurance is rare and makes her nearly untouchable in a world obsessed with outside approval. When you try to tear her down with your opinions, it's like throwing stones at a fortress. Her foundation is so solid that no amount of external noise can shake it. She spent too much time building her sense of self from within to be toppled by someone else's viewpoint. She knows that people's opinions are often rooted in their own insecurities, biases, or misunderstandings, and she doesn't let those things interfere with her own truth. What truly makes her powerful is that she doesn't need to explain herself or seek validation for her choices. She trusts her own judgment and instincts completely. So, when you try to impose your opinions on her, they fall flat. In her world, the opinions of others are nothing more than background noise, irrelevant and powerless. Number 9. You're not ready for her counterattacks. You're not ready for her counterattacks. The Sigma female possesses an extraordinary ability to anticipate not just your moves, but also your motivations. When you think you're in control, she's already plotting her response, fully aware of the dynamics at play. This is what makes her so formidable. While you may believe that your words or actions can intimidate her, she is analyzing your every strategy, waiting for the perfect moment to turn the tables. Most people underestimate her calm demeanor and assume that it means she's passive or uninvolved. This couldn't be further from the truth. In reality, her silence and poise are calculated tactics. While you might be busy trying to provoke a reaction, she's collecting data. She studies your patterns, your weaknesses, and your overreactions, all while maintaining an unshakable exterior. When she decides to respond, it's not with the reckless abandon that many would expect. Instead, her counterattacks are precise, targeted, and devastatingly effective. When she finally decides to engage, you may find yourself blindsided. The strikes she delivers are often subtle, but carry immense weight. She knows how to exploit your vulnerabilities without resorting to chaos or noise. Whether it's through a pointed remark that cuts straight to your insecurities or a strategic move that flips the situation entirely, she has a way of making you question everything you thought you knew. You realize that the very tactics you used against her are now being wielded against you, leaving you disoriented and exposed. This ability to outmaneuver her adversaries is not just instinctual. It's a skill she has honed over time. She has learned that true strength lies not in brute force, but in strategic thinking and emotional intelligence. As a result, when she does strike back, it's often with a grace and effectiveness that you never saw coming. In her world, you might be the aggressor, but it's her counterattack that leaves the lasting impact. Number 10. She can expose your insecurities without lifting a finger. She can expose your insecurities without lifting a finger. This is one of the most unsettling aspects of the Sigma female's strength. While most people engage in direct confrontation, trying to dismantle others through insults or humiliation, she operates on a different level. Her mere presence is enough to make you question yourself, and she doesn't need to say a word to achieve that. Her confidence and self-assuredness create a subtle but powerful energy that can leave others feeling vulnerable and uncertain. The Sigma female has a unique ability to read people, to see through facades and social masks. She picks up on your weaknesses almost immediately, understanding the fears and doubts that you might not even acknowledge yourself. This keen insight allows her to navigate social dynamics effortlessly. When you attempt to challenge her, you may feel the weight of your own insecurities laid bare, and that can be disarming. What's remarkable is that she doesn't use this insight as a weapon. Instead, she allows your own behavior to expose your vulnerabilities. When you try to belittle or undermine her, you inadvertently reveal more about yourself than you intended. Your words, often rooted in your own fears and frustrations, become the very tools that highlight your weaknesses. In her presence, you may find yourself stumbling over your own defenses, revealing your true self without realizing it. While you're preoccupied with trying to assert your dominance, she's quietly observing, and she knows exactly how to let the light shine on your insecurities. This ability to reflect back your vulnerabilities is what makes her so powerful. Ultimately, you're left feeling naked and exposed, grappling with the uncomfortable realization that your attempts to bring her down only serve to elevate her position. She doesn't need to engage in direct conflict. Your own actions speak volumes, and she remains untouched, a testament to her strength and resilience. In a world where aggression often masquerades as strength, the Sigma female stands as a testament to the power of quiet resilience and strategic thinking. Each of the qualities that define her, her deadly silence, her keen observation, her ability to outlast, her mental fortitude, and her mastery of counterattacks, create a formidable presence that leaves little room for intimidation. She rises stronger from challenges, dismisses irrelevant opinions, and has an uncanny ability to expose the vulnerabilities of those who underestimate her. Attempting to bully a Sigma female is not just a miscalculation, it's an invitation for self-reflection. While she navigates her path with unwavering confidence, her adversaries find themselves grappling with their insecurities, often revealing more about themselves than they intended. In a battle of wills, she holds the ultimate advantage, not through brute force, but through her unwavering self-assurance and mental strength. Ultimately, the Sigma female teaches us that true power lies not in the volume of our voices, but in the strength of our convictions. She serves as a reminder that resilience can be a quiet storm, one that transforms conflict into opportunity and adversity into growth. In a world filled with noise and bravado, her silent strength speaks volumes, ensuring that anyone who dares to challenge her must reckon with the profound truth that they are facing not just an opponent, but a force of nature. If you enjoyed exploring the remarkable qualities of the Sigma female, subscribe to our channel for more empowering content. Join our community and stay updated as we dive deeper into topics that inspire strength, resilience, and personal growth. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and continue your journey towards self-discovery. Thanks for watching, Jules. See you in the next video. Bye for now and stay blessed.